everyone.
Good afternoon.
So, we're requesting everyone to please sit properly. Because now we're moving to our next topic. So last time we have talked about the strategies to enhance understanding, right, by Ms. Kiara, and also types of informative speeches by discussed by Ms. Kimberly Travis. So now we'll be talking about the strategies to keep the audience engaged. So who among you here experienced listening to a speech and you found yourself checking on time? Kamusta ka ni Makuhan? Na, makarelate mo sa mga programs natin. So, kanang all of us are na makarelate na because sometimes it's not solely about the speech, but also it is about how it was being delivered by the speaker. Agree ba mo?
Yes.
Okay, so today I will walk you through the 5 key strategies that the speakers use on catching attention to their audience and holding their interest and making the information stick long after the speech is over. So for the first strategy, we have ignite interest. So can you please read?
Find an engaging way to let the listener pay attention.
This slide also is right.
Find an engaging way to let the listener pay attention.
Of course. So before the audience will listen to what you'll be saying, we need a reason first to care and what we want to discuss. Okay, but dito ba distract? So before the audience will listen to what you'll be saying, they need a reason first to care on what we're going to say. So igniting interest is something like starting your speech with something that wakes people up. What's up, example, Anna? Guys, example na makapag-ignite of interest sa mga audience. May I have Miss Andrina? Okay, perfect. Miss Lucille is right. So, igniting interest sometimes, it will include provoking questions, a surprising fact, or even a picture that make a picture in their mind that makes them want to listen. So, is there okay, for this one, I'll give you an example, no? So, for instance, I am a speaker, and I'll be speaking about sleep in Tahay. So, instead of saying, good afternoon, everyone, today I'll be talking about sleep. So, nakatong na mga audience at that time, how about you start your speech with something like this? Raise your hand if you have checked your phone last night before you go to sleep. Di ba, mahira ang intro ni mo ask a question o direct ka kung sa imong ikuan. So, katong direct ka mo describe sa kung sa imong topic. So, the audience will lose interest or something what you're saying. So, dili na sila more invested to listen up until your speech will be over. Am I understand? Am I understood?
Yes.
Okay now, guys. So, is there any question for the first strategy before we proceed?
Not
So,
so
I guess
far.
not so far. So, the next one is tell a story. Can I have Miss Cambuso to read?
Tell a story. Stories are also a way of connecting your message to people from a variety of cultural backgrounds.
Okay, thank you so much, Jill. So, tell a story. The story has this unique ability to bridge the cultural differences of the people. So, when you tell a story, you are not just giving information, you are creating an emotional connection to your audience. Agree ba mo?
Yes.
So, an example for this one is Kato's speech ni Mayor Gale last night. Who among you here na naka-include sa speech ni Mayor? Okay, let's go take a track. So, can I recall some of the speech ni Mayor Gale? Gale, Mayor Gale. Okay, thank you so much. So what have you observed with that, no? So when the speaker is telling the story, we're not maka-relate ito sa speaker. That's why the information or your speech will become memorable to your audience. So you will be stating the facts, all the information, the definition of what you'll be saying, but the audience will forget that one. But if you will tell them a story, like something more one is the part na maka-improve sila, maka-relate sila. So, mga understood?
Yes.
So, second one first, we have strategy.
Ignite interest.
Second one,
Tell a story.
so go down to the third one. So this is only 5 strategies I want you to what you mean by giving your topic a human face? So it means that you tailor the content of your speech to something that your audience can relate with. Agree, Mama? Because if you have observed now, if the audience can see themselves in your narrative, same, kang Ellen can let's take an example, Ellen speech. Have you also experienced so kung makarelate dito mo makita ang atong narrative sa speech ni Ellen. So in that way, you're engage sa speech, right?
Yes.
So is there any questions sa personalized content? So sa ganitong ikatulong kuan?
Personalized content.
So is there any question before we proceed to the fourth one? Okay, thank you so much. So the third one is so the fourth one is present relevant information. Can I help Ellen to read and try to visualize it inside? Can I present relevant information?
So the fourth strategy is present relevant information. So people listen to speeches when the information is relevant to them. For me, when you make a speech, you should also consider your audience, know them, and connect your speech to them na relevant ang iyong speech. Like, ma-inform sila, like, makarelate sila sa speech.
Okay, thank you so much. How about we give Ellen an angel applause? Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Pop. Car. Okay, give one. So the percent relevant information. Actually, Ellen is correct. So for you to be able to engage the audience, you need to present the speech that's something that audience can maka-learn sila. Like for example, in this situation, so I'll be talking about technology. So if I'll be talking about the technology, so I need to present or involve in my speech about how technology is used, what is the important, how can we use it to improve our lives, instead of mag-state pa ato the factory built on 19 nga nangana. Di ba nahirap? So we can see the difference if the information is not relevant rather to the audience, dili na sila ma-engage. So dili na sila interested na muhuman sa inyong speech. Am I understood?
Yes.
Okay, kung sa ganitong verse 4 na
Ignite
interest, self-story, personalized content, present relevant information.
so again, ignite interest, tell a story, personalized content, present relevant information. And now we have the last strategy. So use suspense. Can I have third to raise and try to explain what you understand from the passage?
Use suspense. A speaker can keep the audience engaged by adding a few twists or a novel interpretation to make a boring but important message interesting. Okay, let's see where to keep the audience. Here in this part, while giving speech, we should use the usage of having suspense to our speeches by adding of the vibes, the thrill, so we can engage more to our audience, of course. To make it more interesting, that would be okay.
Okay, thank you so much. How about we use third, 3 claps with no sound in between? Okay, third is also correct. When we use this, in terms of engaging the audience in your speech, one of the effective ways to use the element of suspense. So suspense, it doesn't necessarily mean na kanang-hadlo-hadlo. So it also means that giving twist to your speech. No, even though unsa ka straightforward ang imong speech, kung butangan mo na og kanang mga twist, mga kanang unpredictable nga kanang twist, murag ma-engage ang audience, makasya na lang attention. Like for example, Sa nato example na. So, ang structure na guys sa akin medyo so, I'll be talking about yung tayo sa social media. So, example, the speech na I'll be using suspense. So, every one of you thinks that you have the ability to control what you see online, who to follow, what to like, what reels to watch. But here's the truth. But here's the truth. The truth. That is not really, it doesn't really mean like that. It is not you. It is not us. It is what we call algorithm. So, in that mga speech, asa ato ang word makapayo sa suspense mga kanang kung nataro pa tanaw og kanang paano isip. Ang katong terms na, but here's the truth ato, imo to siyang word i-deliver ito suspenseful mga kanang word. Kanang way, makasya ang attention sa audience. Ay, truth, ani. But here's the truth. Nangangalaan ito ang kanang facial expression. So, also, I guess that's the use of suspense. So, for defined strategies, that would be for defined strategies in keeping your audience engaged. So, for the conclusion, I want everyone to please read.
In conclusion, engaging an audience isn't accidental. It is built through intentional choices, a strong hook, a relatable story, and a genuine connection to what the audience cares about.
Okay, for our students to keep listening to what we are saying in front. So, if I am the reporter and I'll be engaging the students, so can I